Alright everyone, how you all doing? Today I thought I'd take a look at something a bit different. Again. This is the NECA Toys Alpha Predator. This figure today comes to me courtesy of the people over at Kapow Toys. Not a sponsor, but they're worth a look anyway. Little known fact, unless you know me in person, I was born back in 1987. A little bundle of joy just popped out. And at the same time, coincidentally, on the other side of the world, another little bundle of joy was popped out. Predator. And luckily, Predator happens to be my favourite film of all time. I've seen this hundreds and hundreds of times. I can quote it word for word. I have it on DVD, Blu-ray, comic book, everything. It's my film of choice no matter what the occasion. This figure here is the 100th Predator figure made by NECA, so as you can probably guess, they've got it down to a fine art by now. And you can tell, just look at the box it comes in. Lovely hand-drawn design on the front, great details on the back, and because this is a Ultimate style figure, the box has a openable flap with a little bit of Velcro, so you can see all the contents right next to a great glamour shot of the figure itself. And of course, speaking of contents, it doesn't just come with the figure. As this is a character meant to represent the very first Predator, it comes with a nice little, 500 word story explaining where this character comes from, how the Predator race started as a slave people overthrowing a alien invader. It's worth a read. There's probably a version of it online up somewhere. You probably can't read it off this, but if people want it, it's on there to search for it. It also comes with a great poster version of the front of the box. I'm going to get this framed, it's amazing. The only problem I might have, however, is it's actually double-sided. On the other side of the poster is an actual photo catalogue of all 100 Predator figures made by NECA, spanning the original movie, the sequel, the Bad Alien vs Predator sequels, the video games, the even fan-made Predators from things like Batman vs Predator, which is actually a great little fan-made thing. If you get a chance, look, it's good. All that is on there. Even things that didn't actually appear in Predator films, but were taken to the design and concept stage, like the human armor-equipped Predators from, that god-awful The Predator movie. Oh god, I hated that film so much. The figure itself comes with loads of great accessories. It's got the biomask, which I'll get to eventually. Some great details about that. Extra spikes for the armour, which can be used with the weapons. 3 sets of hands, open, closed, holding hands. They're really good. And this wonderful, like Todd McFarlane-esque spear with a spinal cord wrapped around it and giant bone spikes all over it. It's wonderfully savage and visceral. And speaking of savage and visceral, it also comes with just, because why the hell not, a sickle. So like the most badass and metal of all weapons you'll see. The Predator himself is it's a beautiful, beautiful toy. It's the ultimate articulation scheme that NECA uses, so double jointed elbows, knees, all the articulation you could ever want in a figure, this guy has. And the sculpt, oh sweet, sweet alien Jesus, the sculpt on this thing is amazing. It takes the classic Predator design, all the elements we know, but rather than relying on technology, it's clearly hunted animal remains and bone and sinew and flesh all sort of like turned into armour, all sort of decked out on this gigantic albino Predator. It's like the caveman of Predators, but at the same time it's got all those elements you recognise from the original movie and all its sequels, but in this beautiful, beautiful, savage and primal package. The sort of like caveman bone aesthetic also extends to the weapons. It's got sort of like caveman versions of what we know as Predator weapons. It's got on the right hand forearm the jaws of a saber-toothed creature that extend forward and go backwards like we'd expect the claws in a sort of modern Predator to do. While on the other side it's got just a skull of a creature attached there, just as the weapon was a shield. And of course this guy looks great carrying his weapons. You put the scythe in his hand and it looks terrifying and brilliant at the same time. It's hard to describe. It naturally looks like something that is made for war, or maybe for hunting. It's just nothing about this says calm and relaxed. Every time I look at this thing, it's like, oh my god, someone get the metal album playing in the background, let's get this on. And that spear looks like it's been ripped from an old like 90s Todd McFarlane toy line. Maybe something from, oh, whatever that elephanty fella he had in his toy line came with. You know, all the weapons made of bone, and this is just a long branch with femurs and spinal cord wrapped around it. And at the end, you get two large, tusks or claws from some great beast just strapped there as a sharp stabbing instrument. It's as I say, it's brutal. It's brilliant. And of course the Predator can hold it any way you want, single-handed, two-handed, like he's going to throw it, like it's just, oh, I want this thing, like, I'd buy this in a 1-to-1 replica scale just to, hang up on the shelf, just sod it, I'll take photos, I'll take all the pictures off the wall, just hang this up there as a display to the awesomeness of the design. And of course, what is a Predator without his famous mask? And this mask itself is just, it looks really cool, and it's the starting off point for where the sort of like main aesthetic for the armour comes from. I mean, he looks great on it. You can see this. It's the modern Predator helmet or / mask, but it's like a one giant skull piece with big yellow insectoid eyes on it. It's actually got an interesting story where this design obviously comes from, because this is the 100th NECA Predator figure. It also harkens back to, I don't know, what you might call like Predator Zero. You see, originally the Predator we know nowadays isn't, or should I say, wasn't what we were going to get. The original monster design that was sent to the location of film was, it was god awful. I mean, it was this skeletal sort of like bipedal chicken lizard insect thing that just wouldn't have worked. It was awful. I mean, you can see from these photos how terrible it was, and even more laughable. If you want to consider the size of this thing, do you know who was originally going to play the Predator? Wanna guess? Jean-Claude Van Damme, the muscles from Brussels. There's even photos of him sort of like trying the suit on, and it just looks hilarious. It's so bad. But what did NECA do? They decided to take this alien design and have it be the oppressive aliens that the Predators initially rebelled against. And this is the very first Predator himself killed one of these things, skinned it, took its exoskeleton and made his own armour from it, and God, that's so badass. And, just as a little comparison here, I've got several Predators, in fact. Well, I did. Times get tough, you have to sell things off. Some, though, you keep. Like here, for instance, I've got one of the early original Predators, which lets you see like the change in articulation. I mean, that first one had single-jointed elbows, wide-cut thighs, which were god-awful, and still are god-awful. And it wasn't like the best quality. I mean, parts would fall off. But on the other side, you've got a custom Predator, a friend of mine did, a pirate-themed Predator using different parts, but that has the more modern ultimate articulation scheme, and as you can see, Alpha here fits in great with them. You can sort of see, like, here's what we know as Predator, here's where it started from, and it's kind of like in your mind, you can imagine the clear evolution over thousands of years, or however long it took, to get from this savage design to this sort of sleek, streamlined, modern design, but in my mind, I still kind of like the primordial design. I mean, look at it, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, that's my review. I don't know if this has really come across or not, but I like this figure. I think I sort of alluded to that fact a few times along the way. If you can get it, go get it. I say it's got so much stuff that comes with it. It's at a decent price point at the moment, and it's just, even if you don't have any other Predator figures, get this. It's a great starting point, as a 100th figure happens to be a starting point for anyone's collection. But so that's it. As always, I just want to say, stay safe, stay sane, and keep on rolling. And I'll see you all next time. Ta-da!